Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your Monday to Friday update for Bitcoin and XRP. One of the last reminders, just a very few days to go until my presentation on Tuesday next week. Click on the link below. If you want to see Bitcoin Elliott Wave analysis, you'll get a glimpse of that on Tuesday next week in the FX Traders Edge Elliott Wave Forecasting Hub event. I'll be presenting at midday Eastern Standard Time. Click on the link to register so that you can see that presentation. There's a few other presenters there as well, some really good Elliott Wave analysis for you. If you registered, you'll also get access to special offers I'll give you at the end of my presentation. You don't have to view the presentation live. If you registered, you'll get a link to view the presentations delayed, but you have to be registered, so go and do that today. Bitcoin's just going sideways. It's in a little pennant pattern. Yesterday was the 14th session. The best performing flags and pennants complete within 15 sessions. So if we can see a close above the upper edge of the pennant pattern today, that will be an upward breakout. And that'll take the distance from the flagpole, which is the high of this candlestick, to the low of this candlestick, and I'll add that distance to the breakout point from the pennant. Will give us a target about 73,100 or just a little bit above, and that will be where I expect resistance for the next short-term upward run to end. The piece of analysis I give the least weight to on this chart is this death cross, the cross of the 50-day moving average below the 200-day moving average, which happened back here. I give that the least weight because moving averages are lagging indicators. Well, they are necessarily, aren't they? Because they're based on averages of past data. And here, 50 days and 200 days, those are seriously long averages. So these are very, very lagging indicators. I use death crosses and golden crosses, which is the opposite, more as a delayed confirmatory tool for the rest of the analysis. I would never consider it in isolation, and I would never lead with it. I would never give it more weight than anything else. So this is bearish. In my last video, I went over monthly charts. In order to be bearish on Bitcoin, you would need to see a break below the November 2022 low if you wanted to be very, very bearish on Bitcoin, because that would break the secular bull market pattern of higher highs and high lows that we've had right up to this last all-time high here, 14th of March, at 73,118. So in order for that big pattern to be broken, that's what you need. While that hasn't happened, I'm going to remain bullish on Bitcoin. Even if it breaks out of this rectangle to the downside, I'm going to be annoyed, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. We certainly could see a longer lasting, deeper pullback. It could even be a bear market in that it could retrace more than 20% of market value. That's absolutely possible. But as long as that November 2022 low remains intact, the larger secular bull market will remain intact, and I will hang on to my Bitcoin until a third wave is complete. So watch the close for this current session. Can it close above this upper edge of the pennant? If it can, look for a next bullish run to move quite quickly up to the resistance, 73,100. If it just moves sideways though, we'll have to adjust the resistance line of the pennant up to here, and it would no longer be looking very pennant-like. The last completed upward session has some push from volume, so for the very short term there is some volume returning to the market short term. This is bullish and suggests an upward breakout from the pennant pattern may come quite soon, perhaps today. On balance, volume is still within a range of resistance, a couple of resistance lines and a support line here, no signal yet. The lines are also diverging, so as time goes on the possibility of a signal from them gets lower and lower. Unfortunately, we may not get a signal from this resistance and support area here. ADX is declining. There's no clear trend at the daily time frame as price continues sideways in that little pennant. That's pretty normal. ATR is declining. Volatility is just dying this week as price just meanders sideways, just taking up time and wasting time and annoying pretty much everyone, myself included. I'm annoyed by this big rectangle now. I wish it would just stop, and I wish we'd get the breakout soon. I think it was coming pretty soon. The longer it goes on, the sooner the breakout gets. I think we're going to get there pretty soon. So a model of stochastics plus support and resistance would expect stochastics to continue to overbought and price to continue higher to resistance. If they get there simultaneously, the upward swing then may end. Elliott Wave analysis for XRP remains exactly the same as yesterday because price has done nothing in the last 3 days, just a little bit of very dull, boring sideways movement. I expect we're going to get a short, sharp downward thrust, maybe briefly below 55 cents, a little strong wick maybe on a single daily candlestick, may not be able to close below 55 cents, maybe a wick down to complete sub-minuet wave Y, and then moving up for a third wave at 2 low degrees. 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.4322. My larger Elliott Wave count for XRP, my main Elliott Wave count is bullish. Have 2 Elliott Wave counts, one very, very bullish with a target about $30, the other only reasonably bullish, a target just under $4. And they're both, well, somewhat reasonably even in probability. We're not going to know which of those two is going to be correct until price tells us, and that's probably not going to be for months. Either way, I'm expecting upward movement for both of them. They're both bullish. Daily technicals for XRP, it too is moving sideways. Nothing really new to say. Slightly bullish lower wick possibly developing today, finding support 58 cents now. Looking for resistance for a little bit of a move up, hopefully about 62 cents. XRP's volume profile is a lot clearer than Bitcoin. This is really bullish. Nice curved growth here, further increase in upward volume as price moves higher with an increase in range as well. Volatility and volume have returned to this market. It is having a wee pause this week, but I do expect overall, on balance of probability, good things happening from XRP. And this is one of the coins I bought a fair amount of, actually, starting a few years ago. I did say the other day 23 coins. I didn't mean I bought 23 XRP. Goodness no, it's a hell of a lot more than that. I don't know, thousands. I've got 23 different coins, people, 23 different coins. So quite a lot, far too many charts for me to update, to be honest. I just cannot handle anymore. I can't even handle 23. I don't know why I did that. Seemed like a really good idea at the time. Well, to be honest, still seems like a really good idea. There's this contracting range for XRP, so we will get a signal from this. Eventually a break above resistance or below support will give us a signal. No signal today, keeping an eye on that, hopefully a signal next week. ADX is now below 15. That is actually really nice to see. So yeah, it's taking its time and meandering sideways, which is very annoying, but the pause is setting the market up for the next trend. When we have ADX rise up from a low level, which is below 15, and when it rises up from below both DX lines, when it reaches 15 with a positive slope, it gives us the strongest signal ADX can give. And whichever DX line is on top at that point tells us what direction the trend is. So it's great to see that setup finally setting up. Volatility is just dying in the markets this week. They're just not really doing anything, having an annoying pause, just moving sideways. That's normal. It's healthy for markets to pause before the next strong movement. For XRP, I expect for the very, very short term, we might see a sharp downward movement, a sharp movement below 55 cents, a quick return back up, and then some strength and upward movement as a new upward trend develops. Stochastics I expect to continue overall higher to reach overbought, and price overall to continue higher to reach resistance. That downward movement I'm expecting I think is going to be really brief within a larger upward movement, and then stochastics may reach overbought and price may reach resistance. That's it for me today. I'm going to go and start preparing for my presentation on Tuesday. I've got quite a lot of work to do to get ready for that, to try and make it as visually engaging as possible, because the information, let's be honest, it's all a bit dry. It's just a bunch of numbers, really, and that can be a bit boring, but I'll try and spice it up with some cool visuals and get really geeky on the Elliott Wave for you next week. I really look forward to seeing you all there.